Hi, everybody. Welcome to English for You. I'm Pat.
And I'm Laura.
And we're starting our story article for this month. It's called The Most Dangerous Game.
Ooh, I don't want to be in it.
Yeah. Now, this is kind of a double meaning. We'll talk about the word game later because game can have two meanings. But let's start off by asking, what animal do you think is the most dangerous one in the world?
Oh, okay. Well, I can think of many dangerous animals, but just to pick one, I'm going to go for rhinos because I do have my friend's dad's friend who got killed.
Wow.
Yeah. It was on the news, actually. I think there were a group of people, they went to an African zoo or something. And, any curious visitor, they would want to get a close, kind of look at the animals. And I think this person was about to take a picture or something. And for some reason, it might have angered, or maybe the rhino was hungry. And this is going to sound really bloody and scary. But the next minute, the other friends, they were talking to this deceased person. They turn around and the rhino just literally bit off the head.
Wow.
Or snapped, or, with their jaws.
That's pretty scary.
I know.
Hippos are angry and dangerous most of the time, but rhinos usually seem quite peaceful.
I thought they were nice, right? Hippos, on the other hand, they could be very dangerous as well.
Yeah, they kill more people than lions or snakes or pretty much anything in Africa.
Because both hippos, rhinos on cartoons, they look quite friendly.
Tend to be nice. Okay, well, this dangerous animal idea is all related to the idea of hunting, and that's going to be the main theme of the first day of our story. Let's read through it.
Reading.
The Most Dangerous Game. On a moonless night in the early 1920s, a yacht sails in the Caribbean, bound for Brazil. Two passengers aboard are Rainsford, a famous big game hunter, author, and World War I veteran, and Whitney, his hunting companion. They pass Ship Trap Island, a place Whitney says sailors fear. He and Rainsford discuss whether the animals they hunt experience pain and fear of death. Whitney thinks they do, but Rainsford disagrees. He says the world is made up of two groups, the hunters and the hunted. Why worry about what animals feel? Whitney leaves, and Rainsford stays on the deck to smoke. Suddenly, he hears gunshots in the distance. Surprised by the noise, he drops his pipe over the side of the yacht. He tries to catch it, loses his balance, and falls into the sea. It's now critical that Rainsford swim to Ship Trap Island to survive. As he does so, he hears another gunshot and the cries of a dying animal. Once he reaches the shore, he falls asleep until the following afternoon. Rainsford goes to find help and is shocked to find a Gothic mansion in the jungle.
So the story starts on a moonless night in the early 1920s. A yacht sails in the Caribbean, bound for Brazil. So we're on a yacht. A yacht is a medium-sized boat. This kind of boat would usually be used for racing or just kind of pleasure. You would sit on it and drive around the sea. It's not the sort of boat you'd want to have in really bad weather, but it's certainly a pleasure boat to be on.
Okay, I've never been on yacht before. Okay, 我们来看一下课文一开始就提到，在1920年初一个没有月亮的夜晚里，它是用 a moonless night. OK， 那我们就看到一个游艇啊，或者是帆船之类的，因为 yacht 这个字有帆船、快艇或是游艇的意思，它前往巴西然后在这个加勒比海上航行。 Okay, and we see the phrase be bound for, didn't we?
That's right. The yacht is bound for Brazil. If something is bound for a place, this sentence or phrase, is used to indicate where something is going. The train is bound for Kaohsiung. The plane is bound for Bangkok. That kind of thing. It just tells you what the destination, the end point is.
Okay, I see. 刚刚课文中有提到 be bound for 这个片语，就是前往某一个地方。那其实呢，它就是 which is bound for Brazil 的缩写的写法哦。OK， 那我们来看一下 the Caribbean 或是 the Caribbean Sea。OK， 其实它就是一样的意思，只是 Caribbean 是简称，指的就是加勒比海，而 Brazil 指的就是巴西。
Yeah, you will hear some people say the Caribbean, both are fairly common. I think Caribbean is more correct. I think you said it that way is probably more correct. But anyway, so we've got a boat going through this ocean, this sea down on the way to Brazil, and we see two passengers aboard are Rainsford, a famous big game hunter, author and World War I veteran, and Whitney, his hunting companion. So Rainsford is a big game hunter. When we use game in this way, we actually mean the animal itself. So normal hunting game might be ducks or deer or something like that. Big game hunter means things like buffalo, rhinos, lions, tigers, really large, powerful animals. So that's one of the meanings of the most dangerous game. It's kind of the most dangerous thing to hunt.In the title of the story.
Okay, now I get it.
We also have Rainsford aboard this ship. The two men are aboard the ship. If you're aboard, you're on the ship, on the plane, or on whatever other large kind of vessel it is. We tend to only really use it for ships and planes. You wouldn't say somebody is aboard a car, but you could say somebody is aboard a big bus or coach or something like that. Here's an example sentence. Once all the passengers were aboard, they were asked to sit down so the plane could prepare for takeoff.OK，
我们看回课文哦。课文提到就是两位在船上的乘客有谁呢？有 Ransford， 那他是一位有名的大型猎物的狩猎人哦。那他也是一位作家，以及第一次世界大战的荣民。那以及还有另外一个有两个乘客，另外一个是 Whitney， 就是他的狩猎的伙伴。那我们看到了 aboard 这个副词，就是在船上啦，或者是它可以指在飞机啊、公共汽车、火车上等等都是可以的。I'll give you an example sentence. The captain and crew welcome you aboard. Okay, and big game 这个指的其实是 game 不是游戏哦，它其实是从猎物身上获取肉啊，或者是具商业价值副产品的大型猎物狩猎的活动。那文中的 big game 是形容词的用法，那刚刚 Pat 有补充到，它可能是像什么大型的动物，像 buffaloes, rhinos, big animals.So
Rainsford is a hunter, he's a writer, we'll find out a bit more about that later. He's also a World War I veteran. A veteran is somebody who has fought in a war, so he went through that experience. We can also use veteran to describe someone with a lot of experience. They're older, they've played a sport for a long time, so they could be a sports veteran, a veteran soccer player, something like that. They've just got a lot of experience of their particular field.I
see. 所以刚刚我们有提到 Rainsford， 他还是第一次世界大战的 veteran. Veteran 是什么呢？就是老兵或是荣民，它是一个名词哦。
And his companion is Whitney, another hunter. A companion is a person or an animal that does things with the first person. We particularly use it for people or animals who stay with someone for a long time or for the whole journey or something like that. You might say James and Fred are traveling companions who have visited over 20 countries together.Wow,
OK. 我们来看一下 companion 这个字哦，其实它就是同伴啦，或者是伙伴啦，它是一个名词。那不止我们可以说两个好朋友，他们是 great companions。其实我们的非常忠实的狗狗，这个宠物 ，a dog is a faithful or loyal companion.
So next we see in the story, they pass Ship Trap Island, a place Whitney says sailors fear.
OK, 所以他们两个呢是经过一个叫做 Ship Trap 的一个岛哦。那这个地方 Whitney 说它是水手会害怕的地方哦。And next in the article we read, he and Ransford discuss whether the animals they hunt experience pain and fear of death. 这时候这两个人就讨论说，他们猎捕的动物会不会经历死亡的痛苦以及恐惧呢？
We see in the article, Whitney thinks they do, but Rainsford disagrees. Disagree just simply means not agree. This dis is a negative prefix. It shows the opposite of the word, verb, adjective, or whatever. Organized, disorganized. Somebody who is not organized is disorganized. These two people disagree. They don't have the same idea. Here's an example. The two restaurant owners disagreed on the best way to advertise their business, so they decided to stop working together.
OK. 所以回到课文哦，这时候发现了这个他们两个好像有点不同的意见。Winnie 呢，他认为这些动物会经历死亡跟痛苦还有恐惧。但是 Ransford 他不是很认同诶。当我们用不认同、不同意，我们就可以用 disagree 这个动词。我们有看到字首它有 dis 就是有否定的意味，所以我们就可以猜到了 disagree 的相反词当然就是 agree， 就是拿掉 dis 变成同意的意思哦。I think even good friends sometimes disagree. OK, 那我觉得有趣的是呢 in English we have this phrase, let's agree to disagree. 这意思就是尊重彼此有不同意见的权利，所以在这个前提下，对他人的意见可能有疑虑，但是不接受时，说法最好呢就是要以退为进，所以你就有一种好啦，那我们同意我们是有不同的意见的，我尊重你的看法，虽然我们有不同想法，先同意再反对这样的意味。
So Rainsford doesn't agree. The article says, he says the world is made up of two groups, the hunters and the hunted. If something is made up of something else, this phrasal verb explains the groups or smaller things, the categories that make up a larger whole. You could say, this English class is made up of students from grades 7, 8, and 9. So students from all three grades are in this class.
OK, 所以他说呢，世界是由两种类型而组成的，一个是猎人，一个是猎物。Be made up of something 就是由什么组成。那我们来看一回刚刚提到 the hunted， 在文章当中是有猎物的意思，这是 the 再加形容词表名词的用法哦。
Rainsford also thinks, why worry about what animals feel?
Ransford 就想说，为什么要担心动物的感受啊
So we then, in the story, have Whitney leaves and Rainsford stays on the deck to smoke. Deck is a word meaning the ship's floor, the thing you stand on when you're on a boat. And it could be any of them. We often use it to refer to the floor that's on the outside, but it could refer to any flat floor inside a boat as well. One ship might have lots and lots of decks. A big cruise ship could have loads of decks. Decks for cabins, decks for where the restaurants are, decks for where the crew are, the holds, all of those things. Each one would have a deck. Here's an example sentence. The strong wind knocked the sailors to the deck as they tried to take down the sail.
OK, 这时候课文来到这个 Whitney 他离开，然后 Rainsford 他待在甲板上抽烟。甲板就是 deck， 它是个名词。For example, we sat on the deck until it was dark.
So we've got Rainsford smoking. The article then says, suddenly he hears gunshots in the distance. This phrase, in the distance, simply means a long way away.
OK, 不过这时候 Ransford 突然间他听到远处有一个枪声诶 gunshot 这就是枪声的意思，而 in the distance 就是位于远处。Oh my God, who got killed?
Well, we're not quite sure yet, but it certainly gave Rainsford a bit of a shock. We see, surprised by the noise, he drops his pipe over the side of the yacht. He tries to catch it, loses his balance and falls into the sea. It's all very dramatic here. He lost his balance. Your balance is your ability to stay on your feet or be steady, especially when this is difficult. If you have good balance, you won't often fall over. If your balance is poor, then you might just trip and fall all kinds of times. You know, when even somebody pushes you, you might think, oh, it's hard to retain or keep my balance, and you'll fall over. But if you've got good balance, you'll be able to stay on your feet. We might say, John lost his balance on the narrow wall and fell off.
OK, 所以这时候 Ransford 他听到这个枪声，对不对？被这个声响，哇，惊吓了。他把他的烟斗掉落在这个游艇的一旁，那他试着要抓着，结果他失去平衡，然后掉落海里啦。哇，这里提到很多单字，像是 pipe 提到的就是烟斗，而刚刚我们提到 he loses his balance 就是他失去平衡，其中的 balance 就是平衡，它是一个名词。举例来说，如果你要溜冰 you must learn to keep your balance in skating. Oh, I can't wait to find out what happens next.
Well, he's in the water, and this isn't a very nice place to be in. There are big fish in those waters, apparently. What we learn is it's now critical that Rainsford swim to Ship Trap Island to survive.
OK, 所以呢，现在呢，如果 Ransford 要游到 Ship Trap 岛来求生，这件事情呢是非常重要的。当我们用 it is critical that， 然后后面接主词，然后我们可以省略 should， 但是后面要接的是原形动词或是 be 动词哦。但其中的 critical 我们也可以用其他的形容词，而且是特定的形容词来代换。举例像是 necessary 必要的或者是我们文章的 critical 是非常重要的意思类似的还有 important, essential 都有必要的、极为重要的。OK， 这是来说明 that 名词子句中所叙述的事件或是行为的必要性或是重要性哦。另外要特别注意就是 that 子句常常会用主词加 should 加动词的形式，主要是希望读者或者是听者可以按照这样的指示形式。那通常我们会省略 should。所以要注意它后面我们要接的是原形动词哦。我来举个例子我比较清楚。It is critical that you finish your work before you go home.
So Rainsford needs to swim to the island, and we see in the article, as he does so, he hears another gunshot and the cries of a dying animal.
所以当他一边往岸上游去，他听到另外一个枪声，还有一个即将死去的动物的叫声诶。
Well, at least he thinks it's an animal. More on that later. But what we read now is, once he reaches the shore, he falls asleep until the following afternoon.
Wow, I would be scared if I were him. 所以当他靠岸他一直睡到隔天的下午。
Well, I suppose he's a hunter. He's had experience in war.
Okay.
I guess he knows, what he's doing and how to make himself safe. But he does wake up the next afternoon, and we see in the article, Rainsford goes to find help and is shocked to find a Gothic mansion in the jungle. Yeah, this is unusual. Let's look at the word Gothic first. Gothic refers to a style of building and other things in Europe between about the 12th and 16th centuries. Features of this kind of building was big, pointed arches, stained glass windows. Kind of think of really big, impressive European churches.
OK， 所以这时候 Rainsford 呢，他就去求救，然后他非常惊讶发现一个哥德式的豪宅，而且它竟然是在一个丛林里面，所以真的是蛮特别的。Gothic 这个形容词就是哥德式的一种建筑物，那流行在12到15世纪的欧洲建筑风格。
And this is a Gothic mansion. A mansion is just a really fancy house. So this is going to be a house with these fancy pointed arches. It's going to look about, 400, 500, 700 years old, something like that.
Mansion 呢，我们常常用来表示非常大的房子或是豪宅，它是一个名词哦。 But it's in the jungle.
Yeah, not normally
How
where you'd
rare.
find a big fancy Gothic house, is it? A jungle is a dense, thick, wet forest. We don't really think of jungles as being dry. You find them in the tropical parts of the world, around the middle of it. In a jungle, everything's kind of all growing together. There's not much space. They're difficult to walk through. Plants are everywhere. Animals are everywhere, like in this example sentence. The jungle was full of snakes, spiders, and other dangerous animals.Jungle
相信大家不陌生，就是丛林，它是一个名词，而且我要唱一首歌，大家就一定知道哦，真的耶 In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. Sorry everybody, my singing is not the greatest, but you should know this song from The Lion King.That's
right. Well, what is this Gothic mansion doing in the middle of the jungle? We're going to find out tomorrow, but right now let's go to our For You Chat question.You chat. So our chat question is, do you think it's right to hunt animals? Why or why not?
I don't think so. I think it sounds so cruel.
I think it depends who's doing the hunting and what for. If you're hunting for food, I think that's okay.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah, like the Aboriginal, the indigenous people of Taiwan, they are allowed to hunt some deer, some wild animals to feed themselves, and it's part of their culture.
Though.
So I'm okay with that, but hunting just for like, look, I shot this big animal, here's its head on my wall. No. Not really I don't think that's really right. But anyway, that's two ways of looking at it. What is going to be hunted?Or who is going to be hunted? Join us tomorrow to find out. See you then. Bye for now.
Vocabulary Review. Aboard. The train was nearly empty. Only 2 other people were aboard. Companion. Terry was a fun companion to have on vacation,although he was terrible at making plans. Disagree. My parents and I disagree about how often I should clean my room. They think I should clean it every day, but I think once a week is enough. Deck. The captain of the ship told everyone to leave the deck because a storm was coming. Balance.The strong wind caused Mary to lose her balance, and she almost fell into the river. Jungle. If we continue to cut down trees and hurt the environment, there soon won't be many jungles on Earth.
智慧小补帖
Yacht. Be bound for something.Veteran. Gothic. Mansion.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000。02-2364-4000或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net